that more and more people are making choices. Like, I've chosen I now work 28 hours a week rather than 40 hours a week. And I made that choice so that I really had time to be putting into other things. And I think increasingly people are making those options to work out how they can be part of the existing system, but also be part of community or whatever it is they want to contribute their time to. And I think that there is a movement towards that. And I think, whilst I know, I do understand the evils of the economic system, and I'm not going to be a champion for it. I think that there are those sort of these other solutions as well in there, And I think it's trying to find some of those and trying to go, well, what is the bits that I can do towards this, and how can I, for me personally, what I feel like I've been trying to do is kind of create a lifestyle which enables me to be part of the system for whatever good that I can do it, but also try to live out these values. So have time to be able to give to my community, have time to be able to grow vegetables, have time to put into personal development and stuff like that. I think it's a massive part of it. It's like once you start working in community, you start to see all the issues of kind of our own personal kind of idiosyncrasies that end up kind of making community projects not work. So how do we address some of those issues as well as part of it, And I think it's taking time for a lot of those. And so it's actually trying to set up self-sustainable lifestyles and the great sense of them as well. So that's kind of my solution to that.
And there's always selective vandalism to solve the project.
Yeah, well, petty crime was actually the only way to keep rich people out. Some of our groups are crime problem.
So, you're next.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'd like to just take a little bit back to the technology we were talking about. I'm studying biotechnology at the moment, and my major interest is looking at ways that we can improve sustainability, bioremediation through this technology. And I think there's some really amazing ways that technology can synergize with sustainability, and these also we're talking about today, sustainable agriculture. I feel like we've just come too far in this world, like we've left it too long to and go back to the small scale kind of model. We kind of need some device and kind of bridge the gap. For example, we can use biotechnology to clean up kind of excess carbon and nitrogen in the environment, look at improving water quality, making carbon sink from excess carbon in the air. I just think science gets a really bad rep, and this is largely justifiable. Like money's being pumped into things that aren't the things that probably should be worked on. There's so much money going to the cosmetics industry where it pretty much be spent on sustainable innovation, renewable energy sources. And there's a lot of power there.
Along that line as well, I thought it was interesting what you said about companies seeking intellectual property rights to the things they develop, but actually there's a really strong argument that's absolutely promoting it, and it's almost taking advantage of capitalistic incentives for companies to be developing these really useful technologies. And it's actually, that almost is like what Pat was talking about, bridging the gap, where these companies, because that sort of research and development is so expensive, it can't actually progress if you run just on goodwill, like companies that want to do it for this good sake. It's actually really important that they get that IP so that they can make some money off it, and then in the future continue to develop such technologies.
It's unfortunate.
And without
science
it, it can't.
It's driven so much by money. There'll be so much potential for goodwill science that could really improve the lives of people in the environment. It's just we can't do it because it needs just so much money, and that money comes from things that are powerful and are based on like growing economy that can't support the world that can't support that kind of stuff. So I think there needs to be some changes in science funding, and it's a real hard problem.
It's always.
I'll try and make a response to that. I mean, when you're in a system, you're in the system. So we're all in the system. We're all in a global financial capitalist system. That's the system we're in. And but it's not a monolithic system. It's not as clever as some people might think it is. It is quite adaptive. and what it does and what it appeals to, the basic instincts of people. But there's always cracks in the system, and there's mainly it's cock up rather than conspiracy. People just take advantage of something that happens, rather than that they really planned it to happen. There's not too much planning going on with that thing. So I think there is plenty of things you can do at different levels, and like the TPPA and that sort of thing. Well, you don't just ignore it and say, oh, we're not going to do it because it's a huge big thing and let's not do anything. I mean, you've got to do some at all different levels. And I think there are some really good science that's been done. And even though I mentioned what we've done in our guts and the nature of it, and some really good science has now been looked at in terms of how we do actually feed ourselves, how nutrition takes place. And that can be really helpful. So I think it is, I haven't said it really, it's how it's used and for what purposes. And we just have to accept that, the system is the way it is. But all the time, we're looking for ways in which it will change and what can we do that actually will bring about a change rather than being one of the to support it. So, and we all got to make compromises, of course. I came down in the car, came all over Motaki just to talk to you guys, what a waste of focus for that was, But, so we're in the society, I don't think we should beat ourselves up. And as I say to people, I have no time for guilt about things and what's happened in the past. I have a lot of time for taking responsibility. Understanding what's going on, taking responsibility for what the situation is and doing something about it. Because responsibility is about responding. And I think you should take responsibility. I think just, the whole thing all went down, we're all guilty and that sort of thing doesn't help. So I think you see what you can do and you take responsibility where you can, you use what you can, and you have to work for them. We all have to do that. So, I wouldn't want to put anybody off to say, don't try and use science or don't learn about these things or don't try and apply it in as good a way as you can. I think there's lots of them. I think you're right too, that if we can ease the transition in some way, then let's try and do that. I mean, because when you start to face it and look at it, and look this big beast in the eye and think, oh my gosh, this is not going to be too nice. Right? So if we can actually ease it for people and the planet to make the transition, well, let's try and do that.
I suppose the great thing about making money off big techno fixes, then you can make more money off clean up with that. So we've only got time for 2 more questions. Okay, cool. So we'll try and make it 4 questions. That'll be the absolute end of it. So you're next. Then you.
Everyone needs to leave.
Yeah.
Shoot off like we are.
Okay. So you, then, and then. Okay. Sorry.
This book, I was wondering where we could go to access the bioresource. Is there going to be a place where we could access the bio?
I'm going to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll share it on the page.
Hello everyone, I'm Fred, and I would just like to say that if anyone is interested in helping create some local food infrastructure, we are doing a food forest planting in Karori and Thurley Grove on August the 22nd. We're planting about 30 to 40 fruit trees in public space, and it's going to be a great time. You can dig holes, you can plant trees, talk to people who are also interested in digging holes and planting trees, and it will be the beginning of something beautiful. So, please come along.
Are you on Facebook? Are you linked to this on the Facebook page?
Absolutely. There's a Facebook event. There's also a Pledge Me campaign if anyone hasn't spare change.
What's it called?
It's the Wellington. It's a Wellington public food forest planting.
Sure.
I also just want to say that Fred spent his last 3 Saturdays in a row planting fruit trees all the way around the city. Just as a volunteer.
She's amazing. She's a massive asset to the city, as are all of these people. And I'm really grateful.
Second last question.